Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is the Manchester United fan call-in post Southampton to Manchester United 2. You can do it through Discord. The link is in the video description to sign up. That's the invite link. I'm sure a lot of you are waiting already. We will be taking your calls. What do you want to talk about? Is it time up for Jose Mourinho? Is there any way back? He believes there is. Ed Woodward believes there is. He's blaming the players again. Is he right to blame the players? A lot of people unhappy with Paul Pogba's performance today. Where is the line? Do you go in on Pogba or do you look at Mourinho, who's been here for 3 years? And, you know, Ander Herrera's just come out and said the great thing is that we got back to 2-2. Yeah, Ander, that happened in the first half. Where was the passion? Where was the desire to go and win it in the second half? And I'm not really talking about the players. I'm talking about the tactics. I've played football. I've watched football for many, many years. And we've got 45 minutes there against a poor side to go and get 3 points. There was no desire from the manager to go and do that. He wanted to grind a goal out, but there was no desire or intent or daring risk element to our game to go and win it. You got Fellaini stood in front of 3 centre-backs, effectively. It was poor. It was a weak performance, and Mourinho typically yet again deflecting the tactics. You might also want to talk about some of the things he said in his press conference, that Spurs are a more powerful club than ours. It's unrealistic of fans to compare us to the United teams of the past. We can't do that. The criticism of his team selections are unfair. You may want to do it. I hope you are. Link in the video description for Discord. Please do drop a like on the video. Really want to get some of your calls on the show tonight, and hopefully we're going to get some good ones. Right, let's go and have a look at the queue. Goldbridge is ready. Let's have a look who we're going to go for first. Who's ready and waiting? Yes, we're going to go for this person first. Why won't that work for me? I know who I want. I'm going for you. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good. Are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. What's your angle then? What do you want to talk about? How are you feeling about Mourinho after that show tonight?
It's honestly really disappointing. I mean, we should be beating this team, to be honest. When you look at our players back years before when they weren't with us, Lukaku, one of the best strikers in the Premier League. Matic, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. You know how much Chelsea suffered without him, right? And now they're with us. And, I mean, how can we be losing these games? Am I right?
You're not wrong. I mean, Lukaku was terrible today. Absolutely terrible. I wouldn't pay £5 for him. He's crap.
Yeah, for sure. Not only today. I mean, it's been consistent, this bad performance from him, to be honest. If you look at their quality, we're good to beat any team. But the problem is, from my perspective, the formation. If you see, like, the team, how we're playing, we're changing between 3 different formations during the whole game. At the beginning, before we conceded 2 goals. Before we conceded the goals, we're playing the 4-3-3. Exactly as we conceded those 2 goals, we changed into a 3-5-2 formation, and then to a 4-4-2. I mean, we have to stick to a certain formation if we really want to win.
Where do you stand on Jose Mourinho as Manchester United manager? Should he be sacked, or do you think we should stick with him? And if so, why?
I think that he should go, but I'm pretty sure that the board will not kick him, because I mean his contract is going to end at the end of the season, and it's too expensive, to kick him right now.
Okay, I'm going to try and whiz through as many calls as I can tonight, but thank you very much for calling in, and please do call in again. Really appreciate it.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Bye.
No worries, pal. Thank you. Right. Let's put that back there. Let's see if we can grab somebody else. I'm not happy with where my live show is because it makes it difficult for me to pull people in for the call. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's try and see if Ken will come on the show. Why am I not in there? Hello, can you hear me? Ken, can you hear me? Hello, Ken, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
How you doing, pal?
Is that Mark? Good.
What's your thoughts on tonight, Ken? How you feeling?
Mark, it's desperate the last couple of months. Absolutely desperate. Absolutely desperate.
I tell you what, watching the game tonight, I mean, I want to get your thoughts, but watching the game tonight and doing the watch along with a few thousand people, it was like it's like it's dangerous, but it's like the passion's gone even from the fans now. It's like we just accept that we're shit.
Well, we are, Mark. I wasn't watching the game tonight. I was listening to it through you on the watch along. And to be quite honest, like Daniel, you had there with you at 2-0, I was delighted, absolutely delighted, because I thought this was Mourinho's P45.
You know what? I still think if we'd lost tonight, this is the problem. I don't think the club would have sacked him anyway. Do you think they would have done if we'd lost?
I think they might have after last week against Crystal Palace, but I'll be honest with you, for the last number of weeks and months, last number of weeks, I'm just listening to the same conversations, and I want to listen to a new conversation. To be quite honest with you, I want to listen to a conversation about a new manager getting the best out of our current squad, which our current manager isn't doing. I think we have a panel of players there, who are good enough to sit higher in the league. 100%. I think we have 3 or 4 or 5 players on the bench who shouldn't be, who could be world class and could be doing the job for us and playing attractive football, more the style of Man United that we all grew up on. And instead we're having to watch this tripe or listen about this tripe week in or week out. And to be honest with you, for a number of weeks, the last number of weeks when I've been on your show, when I've been listening to your show or through Discord, I've been saying to anybody who wants to listen, I've been saying I can't believe that the fans are still actually going to the ground. I can't believe that they're going into Old Trafford to watch it. I know there's a split. There's a split, but I really do believe that I am hearing from yourself and others week in, week out that Woodward isn't going to sack him. The board aren't going to sack him. And I think it's actually the fans who have the power here, Mark. The fans have the power. The fans have the power by boycotting Old Trafford or striking Old Trafford. I think if Man United fans around the world switch on the Arsenal game on Wednesday night and see that half of the stand in front of them is empty, and those fans are actually outside the ground speaking to the fan cams and other people on camera and being asked why they're not going in, and they're saying we've given up on Mourinho. We're not going in anymore. I know they have their season tickets. I know the board and the club have the money for the season tickets already. This isn't about money. This is about sending a message to. For me, this is about sending a message, having a union outside and sending a message to the world. This isn't good enough, and we're not going to go in and watch that, because I think if Woodward obviously Woodward would be at the game. If it wasn't Man United, if it wasn't Arsenal, then it might be the next home game. If Woodward would be at the game, he'd see all the empty seats. The Glazers and the board around the world tuning in would see the empty seats. The fans would see the empty seats, and they'd say, "What's going on here? Why is there empty seats?" And then they're listening to the people outside saying, "There's empty seats inside because we're not going in to watch that tripe." And then I think the Glazers and the board will be forced to make their decision. And like you were saying yesterday, there's a world-class manager with 3 European Cups behind them.
3.
Who's available. 3, yeah, who's available immediately to come in and do a job. And I can tell you, like you said, he wouldn't need to spend too much money in January. He would get a lot better out of the panel. He'd get a lot better out of that panel than Mourinho obviously would. Most managers in the Premier League would get more out of the panel than Mourinho would. He'd get it out of the panel of players. He'd improve them. Could push for 4th. But at the same time, he'd be able to identify the ones he wants to keep, the ones he doesn't, and then go and do his spend in the summer. I think every week that we watch a game or listen to a game, and we have to endure this crap, it's another week where we drop 2 or 3 points, and we're sliding further and further down the table, and it's going to become unattractive, far too unattractive. Every week we have a poor result, and we lose those 2 or 3 points. We have another player who's basically indicating that he's not going to sign. Now is the time, not next summer. Now is the time. tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, after the Arsenal game, in the next week or two, to actually ditch Mourinho, get a new manager in, and try and actually keep the strength in the squad that will attract better players to the panel next summer. That's my thoughts. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna come full circle here and repeat myself, and I say, people keep saying nothing can be done about it. Nothing can be done about it. The board won't do it. Woodward won't do it. I completely disagree. Unfortunately, Mark, I'm over in Kildare, just outside of Dublin. I don't get over to Old Trafford as often as I'd like to. But it doesn't mean I'm not a fan. I have jerseys going back since 1987, 1988. At different times over my lifetime, they've been all hanging up in a room. And at some stage, I'm looking forward to getting them hanging up in a room and again. But I see you on the tube there a number of times a week, and you're wearing your jerseys, and I have to applaud you, because I find it difficult to put them on at the moment. I really do. He's destroying our club. He's destroying the brand of Manchester United, and he's setting us back. We're already set back 6 or 7 years, obviously, since winning the title. He's setting us back, similar to Liverpool. He's setting us back 10 and 20 years. That's how bad this is going to be. We're losing our identity, we're losing our brand, and it's going to be a long time if we don't get rid of them very, very quickly before we start getting the football that we expect in the theatre of dreams. And the fans, Mark, have the power.
Thanks for calling in, Ken.
And if you don't, I know the last thing I'll say about the fans having the power, it's the same as a union. When unions throughout the UK and Ireland and France over the years and around the world, more so in the 60s and 70s and earlier in the 20th century, rather than now, when it was shit in house, they walked out and they said, "We're not putting up with that. Change it, or we're not going back in." And that's the way I feel about it. You know, I didn't want to watch the match tonight, but I was more than happy to listen to the talk along. But I do believe that, you know, we can talk about the problems of the current players and the poor players over the last number of years and the poor players today, and we can talk about what managers we want to come in and what players we want to come in over the next number of weeks, months and years or whatever. But I do believe you know, there's an opportunity there through channels like this where you have 300,000 listeners and subscribers. I think there's massive opportunities for people just to say, do you know what? Let's put banners. Let's start writing up banners and bringing them to the matches. Let's start boycotting the games. Let's leave the seats empty. Again, the last. So again, it's about the fans, and I think if the fans don't go in, you're seeing it. You're seeing it quite recently, and we're seeing it too much. Are you still there, Mark?
Yeah, I'm just conscious. I want to get some other callers on, Ken. So if we could wrap it up quick.
Yeah, I will. We're seeing it too often at the moment, where Man United supporters are leaving Old Trafford with 3 and 5 and 6 minutes to go.
10 minutes
football's
sometimes.
Been rubbish, and they don't expect a result. That never ever happened in Fergie time.
No.
Because they knew that they'd probably get another goal or two in Fergie time. Excuse the pun. You know what I mean? Now, for me, I think not enough people have walked out early enough. I think they should walk out a lot earlier. I think when other clubs' supporters walk out with Sunderland, for example, when they walk out with 40 minutes to go or 15 minutes to go, action is taken. That's what we want. That's what we need. Let's get this man out of that club and let's get our club back. That's what I say.
All right, Ken. Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for the opportunity, okay?
No, good points. And please do call again.
I will do. Thank you. I'll keep listening. Great show. Thank you.
Cheers, pal. Just to come back on that, because a lot of people might be interested in that in relation to, you know, can the United stand make a difference? My sad answer would be no, because I just think football, if you have one union, you do walk out of Old Trafford to get this man out of our club. And I think Mourinho does need to be sacked. But is it Mourinho's fault now? You know, Woodward should have done this. He probably should have done it in the Newcastle game. You know, that was a missed opportunity. Apparently he was going to do it and he didn't do it. And that's cost us now, you know. He'll be here for the Arsenal game. If we beat Arsenal, that'll give him another 3 or 4 weeks at least, where we have to have bad results again. But how is it acceptable? Man City loss, Palace draw, Southampton draw. They're terrible results. Do it now. Do it before the Arsenal game. Because if we beat Arsenal, this fake hope will come up again. We can do it. We can do it. Tomorrow, we are going to be 8 points at least off top 4. We're 6 at the moment, but Chelsea are home to Fulham. They'll beat them, so it'll go up. If Spurs lose to Arsenal, it'll be 8 points. If they don't, it'll be 9 points off top 4. 9 points, 8 points off top 4. That's a bloody joke. It's an absolute joke. James Mumford says, I'm more mad at Ed Woodward at the moment for not sacking him. Enough is enough. Get off your backside, Ed, and sack him. And I think that's a relevant point now. The board need to react. Mourinho, you could even say, who knows what Mourinho's thinking? Maybe Mourinho is saying all this antagonistic stuff, like Spurs are better than us, like United teams of the past will never be that again, like picking teams like today. Maybe he is trying to get the sack. It's a £20 million golden handshake. Maybe he is trying to get the sack. Just do it. Take the hit. Move on. We've got to do that now. As for United stand and 300,000 subscribers having an impact on Old Trafford, there's so many different fan groups. There's so many different, supporters trusts, this, that and the other, away days, this, that and the other. And the reality is nobody really likes each other. To be honest with you, I went to the Busby Manchester Munich Memorial Foundation last week. We were one of the youngest sort of people there. And there was a lot of old fans there and we got to talk to them. But there wasn't many other fan groups represented at it. At something like the Manchester Munich Memorial Foundation. Because they're all so divided. They're all, they all pretend, oh yeah, we'll talk to each other. They don't. And that's really sad. I will, as representation of the United Stand, Flex will, I'll speak to these people. I'll say, what can we do to sort our club out? But they won't do it. They won't do it because it's all about their bit of the pie and they want to protect their bit of the pie. That's not what the United Stand's about. But also, the other flip side to that coin is you've got to be careful about the people who are Mourinho in. Or you've got to be careful about the people who are opposed to those sort of walkouts and things like that. So it's very, very difficult. What else was I going to say? Let's take another call. Actually, I forgot what I was going to say. So let's check another call because I'm really enjoying this tonight. We will have the fan cams coming up as well. Really interested to see what people have got to say on there. But let's try Chris. Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mark. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks. You? Well, I say I'm good.
I've been trying to get on the show for a long time now.
There you go. The floor's yours. What do you want to say?
So, what I want to talk about is how did we have Eric Bailly on the bench today and McTominay, who's not even good in his midfield position?
We didn't.
Back.
We didn't. Eric Bailly was injured today. He wasn't on the bench.
Yeah, but like Eric Bailly has been available for a while now, and he's not been playing like. Can you hear me, mate?
Yeah. You just keep talking, pal. I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, he's been available and he's not been picked for games. We need to know what's going on. If there's a relationship breakdown or something, like you can't just throw him out of the team and put him on the bench. The fans deserve to know what's going on. And
Yes.
Another thing I want to talk about is the board. Like, I don't think it's Jose's fault anymore because it's clear for everybody to see. Like, it's so obvious, it's open. Like, these guys need to make a decision. You have fans who go through thick and thin to come to games to watch that kind of abysmal football. That is absolutely diabolical. Like, these guys need to put their house together and decide if you're gonna sack him and maybe leave Carrick and McKenna to take it over to the end of the season or something. Like, these guys need to make a decision. We're just stuck. I mean, if we lose to Arsenal, we're gonna be 8 points off top 4.
Be more than
That's
that.
ridiculous. And we're gonna be 20 points. Like before December 31st, we're gonna be 20 points behind City. That doesn't go down well with me. Like, I come back from work late to watch my team play, and I see something very boring on the TV. Like, it's absolutely, I don't know. We're a laughing stock, Mark. We're a laughing stock. I mean, It's never been this worse. I don't know. Like, what? So what? If you were in the position, what are you gonna do? I'm asking you, Mark.
Yeah, fine. You make an interesting point there because the reality is you should judge yourself on first place, and whether that's Man City or Liverpool or Tottenham, it doesn't matter. You are right. Tonight we sit 16 points. 16 points behind Manchester City on December the 1st. We've got to play Liverpool in 2 weeks. The reality is we could be 20 points, like you say, off Man City, not at the end of the season, halfway through the season. That, for me, is SACK. Sack. Get rid of him. Get rid of him now. That's what I think needs to happen. I've been saying it for weeks that it needs to happen. But, you know, you speak about Eric Bailly. I mean, another thing that's sort of gone under the radar, and Paul Robinson's just said it there. Yesterday, Jose Mourinho said that Dalot was going to make his debut today. Now, technically, technically he did make his debut because he came on as a sub. But are you telling me
10 minutes to the end of the game, Mark?
You can't have. This is Premier League football. You can't have pre-planned subs with 10 minutes to go because look at that game. We shouldn't have brought Dalot on. I think Dalot came on because Shaw was injured, but actually he shouldn't have come on if Shaw wasn't injured because we should have brought Mata on or somebody else to be more attacking. It's these ridiculous. Yeah. It's like the old Quality Street tin again. He's just pulling ideas and lies out all the time. But for me, I think you're right. I think you're exactly right. Yes, Jose Mourinho needs to be sacked, but the board now are responsible. You know, I almost think Mourinho's irrelevant because he shouldn't be here. It's now about when the board are going to do what they do. And I remember this happening with Van Gaal. The same time at Christmas, I said, Van Gaal's got to go. They didn't do it till May. I mean, when do you think he's going to go? Because I think he's going to be here for a long time yet.
I mean, in America now, like we're losing viewership. Like they would rather show a Crystal Palace game than although in Canada, like we have a lot of channels that shows like all the matches and stuff, so we don't miss any match. Like I don't miss any United game. But like we're losing fans over here because nobody wants to watch this crap on TV anymore. Like it's
don't blame him.
It's obvious. Like it's young boys we're winning just by 1 goal. Imagine against young boys. Like if we had lost that game, what would we have said? Like I take that as a loss. I wouldn't take that 1-0 win against young boys playing at home.
No, it's terrible. Well, thanks for calling in, Chris, and please do call in again. Well, I seem to have lost Chris anyway, so I'm just going to pull this person in here. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, you're live on the United Stand. Can you hear me? Hello? One shot lottery. You get one chance and then you're out. Let's see if we can try and find somebody else. Let me just... yeah, it is, you know, I do agree with that now, though. I do really think that we are in a situation at Manchester United where it does become part of what the board is all about now. You know, it becomes about their decision and when they're going to change it. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand. No, you won't be able to hear me because you've got your mic on, so you won't be ready. Let's try Baz. Baz. Hello, Baz, can you hear me? Hello? Right. Have I got a problem with my mic or something here? It was working so well. It was working so well. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand. Right. Am I actually still live? Because I think people are trying to talk, but we're not getting them. That was 3 chances. Mourinho got exposed, says Mick Blue Sky. Good call, says Bernal Dean. Man City need a transfer ban, says Hamza. Let's worry about our own house before we start worrying about Man City, to be honest with you. We're a bloody joke at the moment, and things need to happen quick if it's going to improve. I'm working fine. Paul, if you're in the live chat, come in and let's see if it works, because I'm pulling people in and they're not able to talk to me. So I'm just going to leave Paul in there for a minute, and if you can unmute and talk and see if it works, that would be great. And I'll just talk to the live comments while I'm doing that. What was that comment there from Michael O'Connor? Time for Jose to go and bring in a top manager and being keen in with him to sort out the players, and anyone who can't handle it can be sold. Simple as. My microphone is not working. Right, okay, let me have a look. It should be working. Hello, can anybody hear me in the live chat? It should be working because everyone can hear me on the YouTube. Anyway. I do agree with that comment anyway. I just want to go back to that. I do agree with that comment because the point is that I cannot lie and say that Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Jesse Lingard, Juan Mata are playing to the best of their capabilities at the moment. They're not. And to me, what I would say to that is, are you as a football fan of Manchester United supporting Manchester United to the best of your ability at the moment? You're not. Don't lie. You're not. So why should the players be playing to their best of ability? What if the players feel exactly the same way as we do at the moment, whereby they're frustrated? They don't know whether they're coming or going. They've got no idea about the philosophy. They can't stand the manager. And I think that's what we're getting with Manchester United at the moment. We've got that situation at Manchester United where we have lost, in some ways, what we're all about. And I think the players are not stupid. They don't live in a bubble. They're aware of what's going on. And as I say, Paul Pogba was very poor today. He was very poor. But on the other hand, he's playing in a system that just, with players that just do not get the best out of Paul Pogba. And to me, that is the biggest problem, because how can things resolve themselves when that is the case? So it is difficult. Paul, can you hear me? Yeah, I'm trying to still get that to work. If not, we'll just go through the live comments.
Yeah, Mark, you're online, mate.
All right, mate. Well, you're live there. Just give us your thoughts, Paul, while I've got a guest.
Oh, yeah, rubbish.
Is that all you got? No, but seriously, I'll ask you a question then. I mean, we saw the team news come out. I thought we'd have enough to beat Southampton today. But what disappointed me the most about that is we go 2-0 down. The disaster happens like people predict it's going to happen. Rashford gets us back in. It's still the first half. That first half in itself was quite an entertaining half because of what happened. The second half was like a completely different game. It was like the plan Jose had from minute one. Let's play very defensive and try and nick a goal. And it was drab. It was awful. And I don't understand why we didn't try and win that game in the second half, because there was nothing. There was no attempt.
It's the same as I said last time. We play exactly the same way every single week and expect a different result, and we don't get one. But Mourinho seems to think it's going to somehow play in the same all the time. Somehow, eventually, something's going to click, and we're going to start smashing teams. I don't understand what goes on in his head, and also, what won it today is what has been winning it for us for the last, I don't know how long. It's Rashford won it for us. Individuals are winning it for us. There wasn't a game plan to get Rashford in the game and him being the main man. He just happened to turn up on the day and be the man to save United. There wasn't a plan to say Rashford is going to be open because the team play this particular way and we know there's going to be gaps down the wing because we're going to pull players over from one side to the other and make space. It was just Rashford happened to be in the right place at the right time, do something good and win it. So my point being, what the hell are our tactics, Mark? What are we lining up to do? If Jose sends us out to do something different and the players, every single one of those players is not doing what he says, which is a problem for the manager. If he's sending that team out and they're doing exactly what he's asking, then his tactics are awful, and that's a problem for the manager. So whichever way you look at it in different ways, it all bottlenecks into Jose Mourinho. If the players aren't listening to him, he's got to go. If that's the tactics he's setting up, he's got to go.
And that's definitely what he's hinting at, isn't it? I mean, I keep trying to say this to people, not because I want them to have an Mourinho out agenda. That's not the reason. But what I am saying after his press conferences and after every time he speaks, like today when he's blaming the players about simple passing in midfield. Well, we were doing that passing all second half. You've got Juan Mata and Fred sat next to you on the bench. Just change it. And also, it's year 3. You know, if the players aren't doing what you're asking them to do, all right, that's an issue with the player. But you're the manager. You're in charge of it. And I agree with you as well. I mean, there's two things there. One, he doesn't seem to be... his excuse, actually, when you scratch the surface, still comes back to him. And actually, today, Marcus Rashford skipped past 3 players twice to do 2 cutbacks for goals. That's not tactical. That's nothing to do with Jose Mourinho. That's individualism. You know, Mourinho would never coach that, run at somebody and try and get past 3 players. He wouldn't do that. That's not what he does. So effectively today we've got a point because Marcus Rashford went and did something off his own back.
Yeah, I don't. It's purely down to the board now. Edward will be sitting there. He was unimpressed. He can see we're playing rubbish. We haven't got stupid people on the board. They can see we're playing bad football. They can see we're scraping results. They can see we're just about clinging on to what we need to do, which is qualify for the Champions League. They know this. They're not stupid. They don't know football, but they hear things. They have people around them who can tell them things. They realise which situation we're in. They know. Now, will they do anything about it? No, because it's going to cost them 20 million quid, and that's what we're stuck with, Mark. That's the ultimate situation we're facing. Mourinho's not going anywhere until it's mathematically impossible to get the Champions League, or we get to May. And then if we're okay in May financially, why are they going to sack him?
The only thing I would say about that, Paul, though, is that, yeah, you know, I do agree with that. And I've always said mathematically impossible is when he goes. But it could get so bad that they have to do something before that. Because if we got panned by Arsenal on Wednesday night, I don't see how you can... Because, you know, mathematically impossible for top 4. That doesn't happen in January and February. Because there's still, mathematically, as ridiculous as it sounds, you can still... You know, it's not going to be March, maybe late February if we lose loads of games. But if he gets panned by Arsenal on Saturday, then we beat Fulham and then we lose to Anfield. The fans aren't stupid either. I think it gets to a point where you sort of can't wait because I don't think we're pulling in the sort of results. I mean, under Van Gaal, he needed to go for me, but he was grinding out wins here and there, and it was like, I don't think we're going to get top 4. We should get rid of him and be ruthless, but we missed out on top 4 by goal difference. Even though everyone knew we weren't going to get it, we were still quite close to it. This time, we're miles off, and it's getting bigger and bigger. Like I said, 20 points off Man City nearly, and it's not even Christmas.
Yeah, but as you said before, winning the title and coming fourth, the financial difference is minimal compared to the revenues we're pulling in everywhere else. So I don't think winning the title is even in their thoughts. Top 4 is definitely because it's financial. Yeah. But that
could be 8 or 9 points tomorrow.
Ken's right. Well, Ken's right, saying the only way they're going to realise that fans matter is by fans boycotting. But I don't want to become Arsenal and get like signs being put up in the crowd saying Mourinho out. And,
no, it's not for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want that, but it might come to it. You never know.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Paul. Thanks for popping in there. Really appreciate it, pal.
Cheers, mate. Right.
Nicholas P says, Jose got sacked from Chelsea when he was 20 points behind Leicester at the time. We are 16 behind City and counting. History is repeating itself. You know what? Nicholas is right. There are massive parallels between what happened with Mourinho at Chelsea and what is happening here. You speak to a Chelsea fan. My dad supports Chelsea, but I've spoken to a lot of Chelsea fans on Twitter and stuff, and they're saying this is so reminiscent of what happened with Mourinho. Of course, he didn't give us a title. You know, we haven't even had a title of him. But it's very similar. Lost dressing room, terrible results. The sort of results that you don't think a top 4. Well, we're not a top 4 side, but you don't think one of the top teams can have. You know, scraping a last-minute winner against Young Boys. Drawing at home to Crystal Palace, scraping a draw against Southampton. This is the sort of thing that we're being delivered at the moment. Toby Aladapo says, all of Jose's silverware is down to Rui Faria. He has conned the football world for 20 years. Absolute joke of a man. Calling him the Portuguese Tony Pulis is an insult to Tony Pulis. We're a banter club. There you go. Interesting interpretation of what the issue is there. Walk out of the stadium at 58 minutes in protest, says Tabo Malaga. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with that. I was at the game last week. It was absolutely shocking. At the night when the final whistle went, a lot of the ground booed. I didn't. I'm not for that. I don't like Marouane Fellaini in a Manchester United shirt. I'd never boo him. It's just not what I'm like. And I think that's what you're up against as well. Some fans are comfortable with it. Some people aren't. I do agree. If something big like that happened, the club would react because it's all about money. But whether you can do it or not, I don't know. I really don't. Anyway, let's take another call. Who can I get? Let me try and pull one of the people I had in before because they deserve a chance. So, live show. Let me drop you down there. Hello, Baz. Can you hear me? Hello? No, somebody's just left their mic on. Hello, can you hear me? You're live on the United Stand. Hello? Sounded like he was in bed. Right, we're just going to just whiz through these people and see who we can get. Hello, you're live on the United Stand. Can you hear me?
Yes.
How you doing, pal? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just frustrated. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke what our club is becoming. How much prestige the badge has lost because this manager has his head so far up his own ass that he's playing Scott McTominay at center back. And my biggest concern, more than anything, what I'm more concerned about is that we're going to lose players like David De Gea, Paul Pogba, Anthony Martial. Because why would they sign another contract to be here? And if that happens, who do we buy? Who's going to want to come here? It'll set us back a decade.
Yeah, we're a long way off, and I thought that. I mean, Scott McTominay's such an interesting one. I mean, some people said he didn't do bad today because he made a couple of passes and tackles. I mean, I just do not understand how he even gets to wear a Manchester United shirt. But the interesting thing for me tonight, as I said in my match reaction, is Mourinho actually cannot really have much wiggle room tonight because the team he put out was absolutely full of his favourites. You know, Matic, Fellaini, Lukaku, McTominay, Jones, you know, and they still were awful. Is it time? I mean, is it time for him to go? I mean, do you think there's any chance of him going in the next couple of days, or do you think he still will be here for the Arsenal game?
I think he'll still be here for the Arsenal game because here's the thing, you know, as an American, as somebody who watches the NFL, I'm familiar with the Glazers. They own Tampa Bay, and if you look at that team's a joke, and their decision making from top to bottom is poor, and it's shades to United here now. They won't sack him. Woodward, the Glazers, they won't do it because they are too stingy with their money to do so. If you look at the amount of money spent, though, here's the thing. I almost can't defend Jose Mourinho in terms of you know wanting these players, and I do agree that some of the players on our team aren't very good. I do agree that we do need better ones, but you're sitting a £50 million signing on the bench. Am I going to want to give you any more money? Absolutely not. I want to give you more money when Fred is on the bench, when Dalot's not getting any game time. He's not even getting game time in the games he should be playing, so that way he can get that experience. When you've sold Henrik Mkhitaryan, Eric Bailly can't stay healthy, and he's not playing, who's going to want to give him the money? I can't even defend that anymore. It's Mark, it's over. It's done. Get him out of this club. There's nothing left. And the more, you know, it infuriates me how much these Jose in supporters like to take the piss out of Jose outers. When Jose Mourinho, his tactics aren't even responsible for some of the wins that we're getting. When it's just the players showing some level of professional pride to actually sort themselves out and to play better football. It's not his tactics. Because if it was his tactics, he'd have got it right the first time. Because if it was his tactics, we would see more attacking patterns in the final third. We basically have 11 men on the pitch who are doing what they can, you know, based on what they see to get the ball in the back of the net. That's what this is. And if you can't find any attacking patterns, any attacking formations in this modern day of football, you're finished. There's nothing left. And I was Jose in for the longest time. I said, Jose Mourinho just needs to get the players that he wants. And when he gets the players that he wants, we'll see a better squad. I'm not saying we're going to beat City or Liverpool, but we'll finish top four. The football will be acceptable. The board aren't going to back him. We don't back him. The players don't back him. Nobody backs him. What's left? What's left besides his ego?
Well, the only people who support him are our rivals because they know, like what we knew when Wenger was in charge of Arsenal, nothing's happening with United while he's in charge.
and nothing's going to happen with United while he's in charge. The badge will continue to lose its prestige and will be called the next Arsenal. And I refuse to have that. I refuse to be in a situation where I have to go on my radio show and listen to the Arsenal and City fan banter me. No, get them out. There is absolutely nothing there. And the more we try to pretend like there is, the more that I have to look at, the more that those people on the fan can sit and pretend as if this manager can give us something, the longer he'll be here and the harder it will get. And what's going to be so funny is when we finally fire him and those Jose and we do play better football. I have no doubt that we'll play better football under a Zidane, under a Pochettino, under a Jardim. That's a question for another day who we'd rather get. But it'll be so funny when those Jose enters, once we get that manager and we are playing better football, it'll be funny to see what they have to say.
Definitely. Well, thanks for calling in, mate. I really appreciate it. And please do call in again.
Man United.
Cheers, pal. Cracking calls there. I think everybody's on the same page now. I was just desperately searching around there to see if I could find anybody who is Jose Mourinho in. And to be honest with you, I don't begrudge any Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Spurs fan being Mourinho in, because it's exactly the same. I mean, it's exactly the same as I felt with Wenger. It was like, well, he's terrible. He's absolutely terrible. And the longer they keep that sort of a manager, the better it is, because it's one big club who's going to fail. I mean, he's absolutely done at Manchester United. Absolutely ding-dang done. Remember when you were... There's a good comment, though, from Alex A. He says, remember when you were happy that we appointed Mourinho over Pep? Oh, how much different things could have been. Look, life, whether it's football, family life, work life, whatever, you will have an opinion and it will change. That is life. You know, we're not robots. When Mourinho came for Manchester United, we just had a few bad years under Moyes and Van Gaal. And my most important thing is, I don't want to be Arsenal 10 years with a title. I don't want to be Liverpool 30 years without a title. When Mourinho came in, every club he's been at, and he's not been at 1 or 2 clubs, I think he's been at 6. He wins the title in the first 2 years. So for me, I was excited because Pep was an unknown quantity, really. He's always had a checkbook. Mourinho, coming to Manchester United, I thought that means Premier League title. I thought, he doesn't develop youth. He doesn't win. He doesn't play good football. But he doesn't stay longer than 3 years. Comes in for 3 years, wins as a title, piss off. We reset the clock. Great. That was my happiness around Mourinho. It's been a nightmare. He's delivered everything apart from the bloody title. Bad football, not developing youth. So I don't make any apologies about it. But he's gone and done something that he never did before. Jose always tries to prove people wrong instead of focusing on winning and getting job done. He's changed over the years negatively, says Shiraz Kamath Fitness. Mourinho out, says Luis Suarez. And it's very interesting. I'm just looking here actually because a bit of exciting news. Obviously we've got Flex doing the fan cams at Southampton. Now I read a tweet today, I can't remember who it was, about an hour ago. And it was like, never seen it so bad as it is now at Manchester United, but the away support has never been so good. This is the weird thing. You've got Manchester United fans who are going to watch the games away from home, who are the best in the country, who absolutely love going away and chanting and all that. They're not being backed. The players aren't performing for them. The manager's certainly not. But you've got fans going all around the country following the badge. And that's the thing. Are those fans going to walk out of away games? Are they bollocks? So I'm very interested to see what the fan cams have got to say tonight, because it's a long trip to Southampton, unless you live in Southampton and you're a United fan. Really want to see what those people have got to say. Our first fan cam has come in. So I'm going to end the stream, and in 5 minutes time our first fan cam will be going up. So thanks everybody for watching tonight. Please do drop a like on the video, because these shows are about you lot calling in. Our next one will be Monday night. My match reaction's already up if you've not seen that. It's on the homepage. But do drop a like and support each other. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And I'll be back tomorrow with Sunday Night Live with Sophie and Flex. But the fan cams are about to come rolling in. So hang on. Make sure you're subscribed and you've got your notifications on. If you haven't done that, it's your subscribe button. Click it, and then there's click the bell. You can tick to get all your notifications for the United Stand, and you'll get your fan cams as they're coming in. I'm very excited to watch them myself. Hang fire. 5 minutes and the first fan cam will be up. Speak to you all soon.